Hello everybody, as always I am Gamma here with Sugar Cube Radio. Today I'll be doing a review on My Little Pony Season 3 Episode 8, Apple Family Reunion, and giving it my rating out of 5 stars. My voice is kinda gone today, so maybe I shouldn't be doing this review, but it's really the only day this week I can, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. But as you may know, this is the last review I have to do until Season 4, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I'm gonna do commentaries on Season 1 and 2, probably about 2 a week, and keep up with my fanfic readings. But other than that, maybe I'll think of something else to do, maybe not. But anyways, let's begin the review. I remember when this episode first came out and I was like, hey, cool, yes, Applejack finally gets an episode to herself. Because people are always complaining, they're like, oh my god, nobody likes Applejack, she's so hated and she never gets any credit. And I kind of agree with that, but I don't think anyone really hates Applejack. I just feel like she gets ignored a lot, so her having her own episode was actually pretty cool. Not to mention all the other awesome characters in this episode. You got Granny Smith, Apple Bloom, Big Mac, and then you got this massive Apple family. I love all of them, but specifically we see Brayburn and Babs again, which I was really happy about. I loved Babs. I loved that episode a lot. Specifically though, I wanted to bring up the 4 ponies that live on Sweet Apple Acres, because this scene especially was just a really cute family scene. I mean, the show centers around friendship a ton, but it's pretty rare that you get a scene of family and family interactions, which I found pretty special. Though, as you may have noticed, Applejack's parents are never in this episode, but I'm okay with the concept of them being dead, because they're still such a happy and close family. And I do think that these 2 stars that fly by right here are supposed to represent her parents. And obviously they're not just going to state that they're dead directly in a children's TV show, but I think it's really special because this show really is for all audiences, and while a little kid wouldn't notice those stars and think anything, an older person like us as a fandom would. Oh, and did anyone notice that Apple Bloom is actually apple bucking right here? Back in the Babseed episode, we got to see Sweetie Belle do a little spark of magic and the Scootaloo hover for a second, but Apple Bloom is growing up as well, and that's really cool to see that they're maturing altogether. It's just another example of amazing and gradual character development in this season. So many characters are really beginning to come into their own, and I just feel like Season 4 is going to have so much big stuff happening. It's going to be a lot of tearjerkers with characters growing up. Could someone pretty please make me a spike lighter? The flames don't even need to be green, but that would be the coolest thing on the planet. And oh my god, there are a lot of apples. But this whole reunion scene is actually pretty touching. It reminds me a lot of my own family reunions, although maybe my family isn't quite as diverse and big as the apples are. So I was actually really enjoying this episode up to a certain point, and then all of a sudden Applejack got stupid. And I just don't really know what happened. Like, if they wanted to finish this quilt, don't you think they would have done that a long time ago, Applejack? If you can't even talk over the sound of the machine, don't you think something might be a bit wrong? And then here, this pony has like 8 kids. You think she makes enough food on a regular basis? You're gonna make her speed up her work just so she could feed everyone else? I don't know. It's just something about plots revolving around a character's stupidity really makes me mad. I just don't feel like it's necessary. And to add to that, the thing I was most excited about was Babs being back in the episode so we could catch up with her. I wanted to hear about what she's been doing almost as much as Apple Bloom has, and Applejack just kinda said, nope, that's not gonna happen in this episode. Apple Bloom was being much smarter than Applejack in this episode, and she can sum up my thoughts in one word.
Seriously?
Anywho, I really loved Big Macintosh in this episode. As the quiet guy, he doesn't often get to show a lot of personality, but when he does, it's really funny and really brotherly personality. He's a really good character, and I don't want him to talk more because that would kind of ruin his character, but I do want him to show up in episodes more frequently. As much as Applejack's cluelessness annoyed me throughout this episode, I gotta say, I really did love the fruit bats. They're really cool to see, and the whole concept of them was hilarious. They're bats that are fruit. I mean, that's genius. Like, really. Get it? Because they're fruit bats. So the fruit bats led to yet another destruction of the Apple family barn, and Applejack finally realizes, wait, I've been being stupid. I screwed this up. I've been making people work so hard that they can't talk to each other, but here's my second chance. Now I get a chance to redeem myself. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have people work so hard that they can't talk to each other. But I'm going to do it to music, because you see, music makes everything better. And I actually agree with that. So yay, this episode got a song, and it was Applejack singing, and it was completely unexpected and just kinda out of nowhere, but I was happy with it. I mean, this is far from my favorite song, but Daniel Ingram is always a hit. He's never a miss, so I still love this song. It gets stuck in your head. I'm gonna be counting to 4 several times for the rest of the day. And lest we forget, there was actually a letter to Celestia at the end of this episode. That was like one of 2 this entire season. It's not particularly about friendship, it's more about family, but like Applejack says, family's kinda like your first friends, and that was pretty cool. But I kinda think this season should have had more letters. I mean, I don't miss them, they don't need to be in every episode. I just feel like it's part of the show that if it's completely gone in season 4 will actually irk me a little bit. But this episode had one, that made me happy. So that's all I got. My rating for this episode... 2 stars. There's nothing I actually really just despised about this episode. It's just I really didn't care for it. There was nothing super memorable about it whatsoever, besides the song, which gets stuck in your head, as I said. There's nothing really to look back on and say, oh yeah, remember that time when this, and then quote it and all that good stuff. And again, much like the episode that came after this, Spike at Your Service, the plot revolved mostly around one character's stupidity, which for some reason that just upsets me. I mean, so many different TV shows use that gimmick in every single one of their episodes, but up to this season, that was like never the case with My Little Pony. And again, I don't mind it happening every once in a while. They're just not going to be my favorite episodes, as shown by this one only having 2 stars. But once again, I'm Gamma here with Sugar Cube Radio. Thanks a bunch for watching. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and all that jazz. I should be getting Chapter 6 of Asylum up sometime this week. I'm sorry, I am super slow with readings. You have no idea how time-consuming they are. I could just do them to get them done, but I take after take after take on each individual paragraph, and when there's over 8,000 words, you can understand why that takes a while. I just want to make sure it's a good reading for you guys, but I'll get that up. I'm starting my commentaries on season 1 and 2 hopefully this week. I should be getting 2 out every week, and that should take me right up to October, November, just before season 4 starts, so it'll work out really good. Hope to see you in the next video.